oppressed. Oh, poverty, by thee my soul is wrapped. Oh, poverty, by thee my heart is mapped. No poverty, don't bother me no more, because poverty is where it's fucking at.
Now playing the 916 here, just letting you know you may hear a slightly different audio, slightly different voice on my end every here and there. I had to re-record as I didn't know until I started editing that my microphone was messing up throughout this episode. I hope that you guys are still able to enjoy getting to know the boys from Odilon, and thank you so much for listening.
Hi, all, and thank you for joining us on our next episode of Now Playing the 916. Bringing in our show today is Odilon. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves with your name and instrument for the audience?
How's it going, y'all? My name is George, and I play rhythm guitar and vocals.
Hi, my name is Tyler, and I play the drums for the band Odilon.
Hi, my name is Gabriel, and I play the bass for Odilon.
He also plays Pokemon.
Also,
Currently playing Pokemon, probably, possibly.
Hi, I'm Sam. I play synth, and I do a lot of the studio work
And he does samples.
and samples.
I know from the pre-interview questionnaire that a couple of you are from the military. Is playing something that you guys had been doing before? Was it something that you found during enlistment, or is it something that you found afterward?
Hi, it's Tyler again from the drummer from Odilon. As I started drumming when I was like 16, I guess, like in high school. Or no, I'd be 14. That's my bad. Yeah, so like my freshman year, since I played like the cello and guitar a little bit before, but really got my passion for drumming, especially through like I had a really good friend. I'm gonna shout him out. What's up, Yale, for getting me into drumming. Hope you're doing good. But yeah, that's when I started, and I'm still drumming to this day, and I will till I die.
Gabriel here. I was part of the Marine Corps. Did 4 years out in Okinawa, Japan. I had a little bit of music experience from high school. I did guitar class, and then learned a little bit from there with my brother. But I kind of just maintained that throughout my service. And when I was free and came back, I had more time to kind of devote to it, and picked up the bass. So definitely, while I was in, it was easy to maintain what I had learned and still practice here and there. But after getting out is when I've been able to fully devote more time to music in general.
We're rocking with him because he's rocking with us. So
Yeah.
Awesome. What inspired you guys to play not only as Odilon itself, but just you personally for each of you?
for me, it was actually a really bad breakup. After that, I kind of didn't know where I like wanted to go, and I kind of started using music to soul search a bit. And from there, music has kind of really just taken me to a lot of crazy places I would have not ever imagined I would have been able to go to. So for me, that's kind of what brought me into it, was like a terrible situation, and I'm glad I've been able to kind of turn it into something good and beautiful that I admire about life after.
Okay, I guess I'll start where I like started playing the drums, because like my high school didn't have an orchestra program. So I was like, oh, what do I do now? I was gonna like, just kind of either not do music, but I got talked into like doing percussion because I can't blow a wind instrument or make a sound out of a trumpet or a saxophone or a clarinet to save my life. So I was like, okay, I got to do something with my hands still, make music with my hands. So percussion was just like a natural next, I guess, stepping stone, since I didn't have like the orchestra available to me, and piano is very hard. So yeah, I became a percussionist all throughout high school, and then I kind of stopped because I went to the military right after high school, and I didn't really play while I was in. But after I got out, of the military, I was just looking for something to honestly give my life some like meaning, besides just going to a 9 to 5 job and day in and day out, something that I'm passionate about. And I was always passionate about music, so I'm very grateful for like having this band and Odilon and all these cool guys around me to go play shows and do crazy cool things, man. I dig it. And that's why I joined Odilon, because it's tight.
Sam, do you want to go next?
Sure. For me, music started when I was playing piano. When I was like, I think I started when I was 6 or 7. I played it because my sister played it, and I don't think I would have ever found that like passion for music if it weren't for my piano teacher at that age. Shout out Ben, who like when he quit teaching, I quit piano for 10 years. But I picked
Must
up
have been a really good
guitar.
teacher.
He was a really good teacher. I picked up guitar when I was like 15 and rediscovered my love for music, and I've just kind of been working on whatever I can for music since then. And I met George at he was doing a booth at a show, and we kind of hit it off.
Shout out Wildwood Skate Shop, and rest
Yeah.
in peace, Wildwood Skate Shop.
True.
And
Weird backstory, but that was the first time I met this guy too. I didn't
Yeah,
even
it was
met
at the
Sam
same
yet, but
show.
like George met us at the same night.
Yeah, I met Sam and Tyler the same night, and that night Sam said that if I ever needed any free recording done, that he was always available because he wanted to build a portfolio to show other artists what he was capable of. And when I met Tyler, I was actually getting ready to go on like my first mini tour ever. And I had an old guitarist buddy at the time, and we were talking about trying to find a drummer in the last 2 weeks before that tour started.
Yeah.
And we just
remember.
happened to like cross paths with Tyler and just stopped him. And we're like, "What about you, man? What do you like to do? What's your name, man?" And he was like, "I'm Tyler. I like to skate and I like to drum." And I'm like, "Oh, you like to drum? Come join my band." And that was literally it. Like just
Thus
a
began
random,
history.
random conversation. Like you always got to
Yeah.
talk to
Some
everybody. Yeah, everybody you can. What about you, Gabe?
Music for me started when I was like 4 or 5. Honestly, my mom put me in the Christmas pageant for our church, so my first interactions really with music were musical theater.
Wait, what role did you play, if you mind me asking?
I played the Archangel Gabriel, I think.
Oh wow, that's
Is it-
canon.
Yeah,
Like
just canon to
that's
my
like your name. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I played some sort of angel. I know that.
I think I was
But-
a wise man in that one.
I did theater and musical theater for like 3 years in middle school and all of high school. So I was still active with music in general, mostly vocals. I had the one guitar class, and then I didn't really start getting into playing and creating until after I had a bigger influence from my brother. He kind of showed me how things kind of work and what you can kind of really do anything if you have your instrument in your hand and you know what to hit, what notes to hit and how you want something to sound, and you can kind of create that. So he kind of showed me a bit of that freedom spirit with music, and yeah, that's my background. Those are my roots for music.
I used to always tell him when he was in the Marines that as soon as he got out, that there would be a spot for him in my band, whether or not it was playing the tambourine or playing the triangle or the cowbell or something on the side, that there was a spot for him. And we had a member leave Odilon right around the time that he got out of the military. So it kind of worked almost perfectly, where I was like, all right, here's your instrument now.
You play the bass.
You play the
now.
bass now. You're a bassist.
So did the bass kind of just get tossed onto you?
Yeah, definitely. They're like, here, play this, and this is what it needs to kind of sound like, and you have a little bit of freedom in the makings of this song.
We do not keep him locked into a cage. He has freedom. Okay, he can.
Yeah.
No, he
can do
doesn't.
that.
Don't give him an
No
idea.
one puts a
Don't give him
bassist
any
in a
ideas.
corner.
You just lock him in a cage and give him a bass and say, "Play the bass," or you don't get the notion.
There's a few names of other bands that two of you are in that are also featured on your guys' Spotify. Tango and the Foxtrots, Manzarat, Big Schlurf, and Kennel Cough.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want to tell us a bit about these ones and what genres that they would kind of fall into?
Yeah, so we have a couple of different side projects going on right now. a bunch of which you just mentioned, and we actually just helped a friend of ours develop her own artist page
Oh.
as well. She's going to be calling herself Vaguely Present.
Ooh.
Awesome
And with
name.
Man's
Shout out.
Rat and with Kennel Cough and Big Schlurf, we kind of just decided we want to just have fun and kind of make whatever kind of music we want. And obviously, you know, it'd be difficult to do like every genre under one artist name. So we kind of just have a couple of different genres for a couple of different artist names for all the different genres that we are kind of, you know, wanting to portray ourselves as. So like with Kennel Cough, we kind of have a little bit of like Sam's got a little bit of like an avant-garde and like kind of like storytelling side of music with a lot of his stuff. With Big Schlurf, Tyler and I have like almost kind of like a hardcore surf rock theme going on. And with Manzarat, we just kind of do whatever we really want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Manzarat is just whatever doesn't fit into the other projects spills into.
Yeah.
Yeah, we somehow make like a lot of different sounds, so we just put different like taglines on our different
Yep.
sounds that we make. You know?
Yeah, we have one coming out for Big Schlurf, hopefully soon. Fingers crossed if it ends up making it onto Big Schlurf.
Yeah, we've
called,
been slacking on
what
Schlurf
is it
lately.
called, Sam?
The Revenge of the Man Crab.
Oh, yeah, the man crab
That
one.
was really funny.
Broad kind of horror spoof.
Could be
Yeah,
a Schlurfy one.
we did just drop one with Manzarat and Vaguely Present called He's Got Game. And I think that one's Manzarat, Kennel Cough, and Vaguely Present. So shout out to that one, and shout out to Maggie for helping us get that track done. It's a really good one. With that one, we kind of ended up on the Manzarat side. It's kind of a little bit like pop, kind of a little bit rock-ish.
It's I don't know what box to put in its own. I've been saying dance punk, but I don't know if that fits.
Dance punk. That
It
sounds
does.
awesome.
Hey, punks like the dance.
But yeah, we really wanted to kind of keep our doors open for any musical avenue that we want to do. Like I've done some kind of like funk R&B stuff before that we're hopefully eventually gonna drop on Manzarat.
I'm dropping it as soon as I find the file.
But yeah, so if anybody's interested, those are all the ones, and they should pop up on our pages, and that's all. It's all us. We try to keep it all in house, and we're trying to actually kind of maybe start, hopefully, potentially, a little record label. And so when we drop our album coming out June 20th, that's the record label that it's going to be under. Right now we're just calling it Sulta Serpens Records, and we're hoping to get a couple of other local bands under the record label, as well as a couple of like vocalists and rappers and stuff under the label.
Say if you want in.
Yeah, if you want in, hit us up.
All right.
Are we always down to collab?
Gotta be. So the next question is still kind of within the Manzaret, Big Slurp, Kennel Cough, Foxtrot zone. You guys utilize a mix of all of the bands, like you kind of mentioned. How do you decide what's going to be a collab versus what's just going to be Odilon?
I kind of think it's purely feels based.
Yeah, like we really kind of just write and create, and we try to get together at least maybe like once a week to have a creative session, whether or not we're making our merch ourselves, you know, printing our own posters and printing on our t-shirts, or making CDs or cassettes ourselves. If we're not doing that, we're in the studio and we're creating something. Or if we're all at home, like we all have our instruments at home and we all write all the time. So we all have ideas, and it's just kind of about like the process of how it gets to the end, I think.
Yeah, it's like who incepted the song, like who came up with the idea originally kind of gets a lot of the say, I feel like.
And from there we kind of just decide like, oh well, you know, Manzarat has this really like, you know, kind of pop rockish kind of feel. So if it ends up in the pop rockish field of songs, then it might end up there. For Odilon, we're, you know, sometimes punk, sometimes reggae, sometimes indie,
Yeah, I think
sometimes a little
Odilon
math
definitely has
rocky.
the most indie, I guess,
So,
sound. That's where
you
like
know,
the
hope-
indie songs kind
if
of
we
go
write
to.
something like that, like Tyler just wrote one for the album that's just like a solo acoustic song, and I keep calling it our Marigold by Nirvana. So that one ended up on the Odilon album instead of anywhere else because I felt like it was a really good piece to kind of fit into the puzzle of the whole album. But yeah, Sam honestly kind of just runs with Kennelcough. He's right now he's working on like a post-apocalyptic project and a whole nother like super like self-important project about his past and everything. I think you're calling that one Marty, right?
Yeah, I have Marty, which is gonna probably be a 5-song little EP that's kind of in the genre similar to Odilon. That's very like indie, kind of acoustic, kind of electric. And then I have that other one that it's kind of just keeps going. So I don't know the Apocalypse one. I don't know if it's gonna be an album, an EP, or what. Right now it's like 6 songs long.
Kind of just up in the air, and I know Tyler wants to add one to that too. So yeah, we kind of just play it by ear. I guess that's the biggest biggest way we kind of make our choices. So
I think it's really easy to notice that you guys just have so many different genres under your belt. You guys have at least 5 or 6 different genres in just a short amount of time.
Mhm.
Do you think that's a good or bad thing?
It's really exciting. It's really cool.
Oh, exciting.
It's not only willing to like break genres, but also like have the capability of letting themselves do that.
Yeah, like we try to like like be kind of boundary pushing in a certain way, or at least like I personally try to. I see that for the band,
Yeah.
I think it's always awesome to see that.
Yeah, pushing the boundaries of music is cool.
But even with all the different genres you guys have, you guys do describe yourselves as slacker rock. Is there? I'm not familiar with it. I'm sure that I've heard slacker rock before, but how do you define slacker
I
rock?
think George made it up.
Slacker rock is like the niche way of saying live, loud, upfront, in your face, like garage music sounds.
Okay.
That's how I interpret it. It's like everyone's in the same place, hanging out, having a good time, and everyone's a part of the music. Everyone joins in, they sing, they have their own instrument to play.
even the
It's-
crowd, like
Yeah,
the
the crowd
gang
sings
vocals
along
and
and they
stuff.
join in, and everyone's having a good time, and everyone feels the vibe
But-
of the music.
But yeah, the
That's
slacker
what-
comes from like the loose part. It's got a
Yeah.
loose feel to it,
we're,
Our
we're
music's
not
got a
we're
loose
not
feel.
insanely technical. We're not
Yeah.
insanely skilled either. Neither one of us. I would honestly say Sam and Tyler are the most instrumentally skilled because they can play the most instruments. I know Sam can play piano, synth, sampler, guitar, bass, and he's a producer who can,
Do sound
work a
engineering,
digital
and-
audio workspace and do all of that. Tyler over here plays guitar, plays a little bit of bass, plays drums, and he did wind instruments when he was younger too.
Oh no, I
so-
said I sucked at those.
But hey, you still learned some of
I
it,
played
you
the
know?
cello, okay? Cello, it's a
The
bass,
cello. But yeah, he actually, has some like him and Sam have some actual classical training, whereas
Mm.
Gabe and I just have our friends who have taught us, and maybe a guitar class or two. But we also kind of used that for recording the album. We kind of used a loose feel, we weren't super perfectionists.
Yeah, we try to get like, at least from this album, try to get like the most like live sound, how we try to do things
Yeah.
live as
We
well.
wanted-
But we also put
when I
samples and
was-
everything on
when
there
I
too,
was
which
mixing,
definitely
my
adds a
main
lot to it.
goal with the album, I think, was vibe over everything else. Like I could lose the technical aspect. I could lose even like it being a clean recording, and I just want the vibe to be there. That was my main
Yeah.
goal with that.
Yeah.
We try
It's
to
like-
bring the vibe that we each bring to the band is like what we try to like, put in recording too.
Yeah, it's like bedroom pop meets like garage rock,
Yeah.
but with the influences of yesteryear, like Sublime and Nirvana and grunge and
Yeah.
all those different music. Because if we hear something and we like it and we think it's cool, then
We're
we're
gonna play
immediately
it.
hooked.
Yeah,
We're gonna
yeah.
try and write something like that, or we're gonna cover that or something like that. So. And we might not do a good job. So our not doing a good
Hey.
job might turn into, hey, well, if I only play 3 chords out of 5, it's technically not their song anymore, and we can make something fun with it. You know,
copying something wrong is how it is. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, as long as we're all wrong together, then we're right.
Yeah.
You guys mentioned covers. Is covers something that you guys do mostly in live shows, or is it something that you guys do to warm up for practices?
A bit of both. As of late, we've been mainly playing only our album just to hopefully get those songs like in people's ears and stuck in their heads so that they want to come, pre-save and stream our album and maybe buy a CD or something later. But I know last summer our song of the summer was Crust Bucket by the
Yup.
Frights, and we would be playing
big
that
cover we
one
did.
all the time. We do cover of Marigold every now and again. We cover Wingnut Dishwashers Union sometimes, some Sublime sometimes, Soul Coughing. And
Incubus, we did
yeah,
Drive.
we've done Incubus live a
Drive
couple times too. We love covers.
Weezer. We covered Weezer.
Yeah, we haven't done
Weezer.
that one live though yet. I
Not
don't
live.
think, Yeah.
You guys heard of Weezer?
But yeah, we're definitely open to it, and I think it actually helps to build your skill as a band to learn somebody else's song and to try to be that perfectionist for that moment and try to get it as close as you can to that thing. So like I think that just helps to up your skill, you know what I mean, as a
Yeah.
musician, and then you're able to kind of use some of the tools that they used in those songs. Like I know when I first learned Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd, they do a hammer on that I was still very fresh at guitar, and I hadn't really learned how to apply hammering onto a note into songs, and practicing that song to try and get it to the like right way that it sounds in
Yeah.
recording helped me learn how to apply hammering onto notes with my guitar. And so now I can do that with ease. You know what I mean? So that if you learn to cover a song, you might learn an extra cool skill from doing that too that you can then apply to writing your own stuff. So we're definitely all for covers.
I did the exact. When I was learning both "Wish You Were Here" and "Pigs on the Wing" by Pink Floyd, there's like just the chord voicings on that. I've used those ever since in my own songs.
Those beautiful songs.
While you guys were playing the sesh, you yell about your dog at the end of one of the songs. Do you happen to remember if your dog actually ended up getting into the trash while you were playing this show?
Yeah, he gets into the trash every night. He's a little trash gremlin.
He ate my burrito once.
Yeah, he ate Tyler's and Sam's burritos once.
He's a little burrito
With the
thief.
foil.
With
Yeah,
the foil?
So he's perpetually.
He's got a strong gullet.
That dog has a strong craving for Mexican food. But yeah, he's definitely a trash gremlin, and we're actually not at my house or my rehearsal space right now. So as we're probably doing this interview, he's actually probably getting into the trash at my house
It's all
right
very
now.
full circle.
So
Gotta padlock that
Perpetually
trash.
in the trash. His name is Crash, and he's always in the trash. So
Oh my gosh. Sometimes dogs.
He's a good boy though, but he's not doing that.
And you guys mentioned that you guys just did a show and it was the Battle of the Bands. Did you guys want to talk about some of that experience? I know that you guys do have a lot of experience with shows, but just something current.
yeah, it was a great time. We had a lot of fun with some of the bands. I personally want to shout out Seawater for always rocking the
Hell yeah,
stage. They
Seawater
always rip
dudes.
it. They have a new drummer now. They call
Yeah,
him the
the
nurse,
nurse, yeah.
and he definitely gave us our medicine. So, but Farley Court won. There are a couple of indie guys from Folsom. They were actually
Yeah, they were
pretty
sick.
good.
Yeah, they were the
actually pretty
openers
good.
too, and I was like, oh dang, it's gonna be a good show.
Yeah, we
turned
we
out really
just asked them if they would like to join us playing at Music Landria in Sacramento, which is like a music instrument locker that gives away free instruments to people who need them, and people are allowed to donate their instruments that they no longer need. We've actually got some stuff. We donated a drum set from them, and we got a PA from them, and that's how we were able to rock one of our recent house shows actually. So yeah, shout out Music Landria. We're going to be performing there on June 24th of this year with Tashoe Band and Farley Court, because I really dig their sound. So I hit them up.
It's gonna be a good, great,
and they said they're
cohesive
down to
sound for
rock
that
it
show
with
for sure.
us.
Bringing it back to the press club, we also played with Critical Condition, and I think there was one more.
Stereo Tongue and I think
Stereo
one
Yeah.
more. Yeah, all of the bands are pretty
They were
sick.
solid, pretty good.
Yeah. It was a
Yeah.
really good time. We had a we had the infamous Jesse Baker from
Yeah.
Jesse's song of
From the
our
logo.
catalog of our discography.
He looks exactly like the logo.
Yeah, he looks exactly like the picture on the single. He ended up coming out and having a good time. We ended up going to a good bar in Sacramento afterwards. And
Which
having
one did you
even
go
better
to?
time.
Yeah.
Uh,
Got kicked out of the club for showing
we
too
went
much
to
ass.
we went to Faces and stop Tyler. We went to Faces
I
in
said a bad word.
Sacramento.
Oops.
Shout out Faces. They're pretty good to us. They made me a AMF that was really strong.
Yeah,
I
Faces
got
is
really
pretty
drunk,
heavy.
So
It was a good time.
shout out
Very good
Faces.
I'm glad you guys had a great time. Oh my god.
Shout out alcohol.
Glad you guys had a great time. Glad you got to catch up with Jesse some more. I remember you guys talking about him a lot in the previous recording. However, I don't remember how we got onto the subject. But it'd be great if you guys give us that history again.
So Jesse Baker is two people to us. So there is the character of Jesse Baker, of which we sing about and of which we celebrate, the existence of. And there is the actual person, Jesse Baker, who sometimes we kind of do the opposite. Sometimes we're a little upset at him. Sometimes we're a little mad. But we always have a special place in our heart for him, the actual man himself. He's a friend of mine who helped me through a lot of tough times when I was younger, before I was actually doing the band, before I had ever met Tyler and Sam. It was at a time where I was actually homeless. He had let me stay at his place so that I could be off the streets. But he came from a family that did a lot of hardcore drugs. So it wasn't exactly the best place to be, because there would be people snorting stuff, shooting stuff, just like really, really bad place to be. But at least it wasn't sleeping under a bridge. That was the biggest point that Jesse made to me. And so we used to spend our time like going anywhere else we could during the day and only using that place as a place, like warm spot to sleep. And so that's actually how I wrote his song. I ended up getting myself a car at some point during that, and I went to go pick up my friend Jesse, and I went to go pick up my former bassist Anthony, and we went to go drive to Lodi Lake. Shout out Lodi Lake. That's one of our favorite spots as a band. We're actually going to be performing there coming up soon for a van session with a missing musician. And on my way to Lodi Lake with Jesse and Anthony, we crashed my car because we got cut off by somebody on the freeway, and it sent me into a spin, and I ended up slamming into the side. And so
I made it into the song.
yeah, from there, my former bassist and my brother, before he went into the Marines, we used to all just get together and just jam. And I ended up writing that song and asking Jesse for permission to use all the lyrics and everything in that song,
Likeness.
and his likeness and everything. And he said he was totally down to be the band's mascot. So once Odilon officially formed, we paid an artist to draw up a caricature of him. And we got that song professionally recorded as one of our songs and released it. And on our first show ever, we were supposed to play that show. Jesse was supposed to be there. He ended up in jail, but he ended up getting out of jail that night and making it to the after party that we had and everything. But he's just been like an infamous character. He'll show up randomly at shows,
Slightly elusive.
and like people will just be like, "Wait, you're the guy. He's the guy." And we'll sometimes hide him, and we'll let him do like security at our show and put him in like a security shirt and vest and stuff. And he just starts messing with people and acting like he's big and tough and stuff.
Oh
but
my
he's just
God.
Jesse. And yeah, so
And the security
You know,
goes into the
the-
jumping bounce house,
Yeah.
just do a couple jumps,
but yeah, the guy, he's our friend, but the character, I think he's something more. I think he's
He
I
is
think
the living
he's-
man.
Yeah, I think he's a accurate representation of a suburban anti-hero. So
Awesome.
yeah.
I'm just looking at your guys' Spotify right now. I know that you guys had mentioned a new album coming up last time that we had talked. I don't see it on your Spotify, but do you guys have this plan to be released sometime soon, or has it already been released, or are you doing it kind of a release through the concerts and then afterwards?
Well, we've been gearing up these last couple months with a couple of shows here and there, playing the album live for people to kind of test how it sounds and if they really like it. And people are enjoying it a lot so far. So we have it uploaded to DistroKid currently, and it is set to be released on June 20th. So in 8 days from now. And we are super stoked for it. We have pre-sales going on iTunes, I believe, and Amazon Music for the album. So if you're super interested and like really want to take a listen, you can shoot us a couple bucks and get the pre-release going. We also just got in a shipment of vinyls for the album. We did a limited run of 20 and we did pre-sales on those as well. And we sold 8, or actually 9 of our pre-sales. So we almost sold half of
That's
our
actually
whole lot of
crazy.
vinyls already. So if you really want a vinyl, let us know and we can still get you one. We're going to be, we just finished printing our own CDs. And we're currently in the process of recording our own cassette tapes. So we're hopefully going to try and have all those ready by the time the album drops so that you can get it either for free on Spotify or YouTube or Apple Music, Amazon, iTunes, all of the social medias, or you could purchase a physical version from us. And so that's kind of what we're gearing up for and saving up for. I think I should have already a pre-save link from DistroKid. And now that you're kind of reminding me, I should be sharing that around as much as possible right now. So yeah, if you want to go to our page, our social media, or our website, which is it's www.odilonbandofficial.com. Not .com.
Not
Oh,
a
it's-
.com.
oh,
No,
oh,
it's
well,
.com.
I thought it was .com. Either way, our band website
Is
is
it
in our
org?
Instagram link, and our Instagram page as well as our TikTok page should be hopefully sharing that pre-save link as soon as possible for the album because we do only have 8 days left till
Literally
it comes
pulling
out.
it up right now.
So but yeah, I think those will be the best places that you'll be able to check it out. And we might end up actually dropping. It is .com. See,
Yeah,
I told you it is
.com. I thought it was .org.
odilonband.com. That's our website. But our website also allows us to put music on there too. So we may be giving people a sneak peek
Ooh.
on our website of the album if you come check out our website.
And you guys are involved in both NorCal and SoCal's music scenes because of your location. Do you notice any differences between the two, like majority of one genre and another, or anything like that?
Yeah, I see a lot of like the SoCal bands have a lot more like reggae and psychedelic influence, I guess, from the shows we've played, and like the NorCal bands lean more towards like hardcore / punk rock, heavy,
Especially
more heavy metal,
especially the
I
209
guess.
scene.
Yeah,
the
the
209
209
scene gets really heavy. They just had a couple of hardcore shows over at Hatch Workshop. Shout out Hatch Workshop in Stockton. They've let us do a couple of shows there. They're a nonprofit that's doing pretty good right now. But yeah, 209 has a lot of hardcore. I would say the 916, like Sacramento area, has a very good mix between indie, hardcore, and
Oh, yeah.
everything.
You can find it pretty much any genre, either SoCal or NorCal.
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
you're
but
looking
I feel
for,
like
but,
SoCal, you're totally right. SoCal has a
Yeah.
lot more psychedelic stuff, psychedelic and reggae and
Mhm.
skaj kind of stuff. I
a
feel like
lot
we've
more
ran
stoner heads.
Yeah, I feel like we ran into a lot more stoners
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
down there.
Pop, definitely.
Or bedroom
Oh
pop?
yeah.
More, more
More
that
bedroom
definitely
pop
SoCal
for
than
SoCal?
NorCal.
I don't know. I don't think Sam's gotten to venture with us to SoCal yet,
No,
but
not yet.
we're planning to do that this year. So this year, we have Pride coming up, as well as a couple of shows. We have a punk rock flea market that we are actually organizing ourselves in Lodi on June 21st. We also have Winter's Tavern on June 27th out in Pacifica, near San Francisco out in the Bay Area. And we also have 3 shows coming up in LA on this same tour. We're gonna tour this album around California for I think a total of 7 or 8
Yeah,
shows.
so a lot of SoCal shows. I
Yeah, we
guess,
have
yeah.
we
Sorry,
have
NorCal.
we have Redwood Bar and Grill on July 1st. We have Harvard and Stone on July 3rd, and we're playing Whiskey A Go Go on July 4th of July for that Friday. So we're gonna get the opportunity to, you know, he's especially Sam's gonna get the opportunity to go experience some more SoCal bands with us and get to meet everybody and check things out.
Yeah, because only just me and you, George, just played the whiskey last
Yeah,
time.
yeah, only me and you've
out of
played
the
whiskey.
You
lineup,
guys
yeah.
have a huge
But
lineup
Gabe played in
coming up.
San Diego.
That's awesome. Are there any other goals for the band for this upcoming year? Obviously, touring and merch is a really big one. Is there anything else that you guys are looking forward to adding onto the band? Or, of course, the release that's coming up next week is super important, but is there any other big ticket items for you guys?
Yes, so that's a really good question. Right now, as it stands, we have these different projects and different artist names out there for everyone to come and see. But with the production of our latest vinyl, it's kind of like a point where we're all coming to align with, and we're all kind of working towards getting the record label pseudo established in a way. But basically, the main point of that is to kind of gather a collective of artists, musicians, photographers, uh, marketing, social media influencers, everything and anyone
Editors.
under the sun that likes to do anything related to music. We want you. We want to work with you. We want to bring the power back to the common artist, um, and kind of just get together and see what we can all create together and work out. We have plans in the works. Haha! Shout out in the band in the works. Um, we have plans in the works to kind of create this, and get it going. We have bands from different scenes that want to hop on, and kind of help us out with basically creating this new sort of community for everyone to utilize and move forward from. So yeah, that's one of the biggest things that we're moving towards is getting all of that centered and grounded and a good foundation for new artists and new music to emerge from.
We cannot stress enough. I think if you're interested, hit us up. My part of that is like I'm trying to have as much creative output as possible after the tour. I'm just trying to do as much as I possibly can for the rest of the year or for the foreseeable future.
Yeah,
But
so sorry, go
if
ahead.
if a lot of that on my end is just recording, producing, all that. If you and your band need someone, hit me up.
Yeah, on top of that too, I've been wanting to like wrangle these guys together and start recording some more promo. We have a bunch of skits that we've all like written down and thought of that we want to film and upload on our TikTok to really kind of start promoting ourselves as a band and as musicians as best as possible, as well as this album to hopefully make sure it has the most success. And then after that, Tyler and I are actually hopefully going to be starting another creative project. We got gifted a camera lot that's worth a hefty amount of money. So we have like a bunch of editing laptops, camera equipment, microphones, a bunch of stuff like that. And Tyler and I have been super big fans of horror films like for a long
Oh
time.
yeah.
So we plan on hopefully getting together a small cast of friends and families and like local actors and stuff and getting together our script and starting to film a low budget kind of found footage
Yeah.
horror film
Oh yeah,
together.
we already have like pages or we would have like a big whiteboard where we just like had these
Idea board.
interconnected
yeah.
interconnected
We have like
ideas.
a couple of pages of some script work,
And,
but we're probably gonna rework some of that.
bunch of character backgrounds. And
Yeah, all of our characters
basically
are
like
worked out.
we've done like kind of like the essential world building and where we want to go with it, but like
Yeah.
as far as like the script, but
yeah. So
scripts
we're
are
actually
subject to
gonna
change,
have
of
Gabe
course.
with his theater
Yep.
experience
I'll be
be
playing
cast
theater
as
kid.
the
Main
Ooh.
antagonist.
villain. So
Gonna bring out his evils.
yeah, if you guys come and listen to the music, come check out the website, or if we end up recording you, or if you end up seeing us at a show, and somebody that wants to be an actor or a musician or a podcast host or anything of the sort, let us know. We're gonna be trying to put together something big like that. I know Gabe's gonna hopefully be going to college actually soon here to get a business degree, maybe.
Yeah.
And we'll make an LLC and actually make
That
this
might be
thing
two of
happen.
us going back to school.
Yeah.
I'm going back to school. You
Let's
too.
do
You
it.
too?
Yeah.
Thinking about it.
Oh, I guess
Yeah,
the
okay.
band goes to college.
the-
That's our next.
That's gonna be
album.
our spin-off show.
Yeah.
The band goes to college. We already got the intro. We already got that
So
covered.
the studio and everything seems like really noble effort. I'm very excited to hear about that horror movie. Someone may be interested over here. But now hearing about all of these things,
Yes.
where do you guys find the time to do all of this? You guys seem like a very, very busy band.
So the time is almost like non-existent, but that's kind of like irrelevant.
We barely even perceive time.
Yeah,
you
so-
know?
Running low all the time.
Time is an illusion.
So Tyler and I are insomniacs, so
Yeah.
that's one thing
Yeah.
that helps Tyler and I. We'll just get together and hang out, and we'll write or we'll bounce ideas off each other to get all those things.
Just
Sam's an early riser, so if I stay up late, only sleep for like an hour or two, and then get up early in the morning to have either Sam come to me or I go to Sam's, then Sam and I get some sessions done. And then as soon as Gabe's off of work, Gabe shows up and then he joins the party
And
and we figure out whatever else we can do. But we take big advantage of our weekends too. We almost kind of, if not for like a spare day here or two there,
Yeah, we work hard. and
we're
we play
almost like
hard.
around each other 24/7.
yeah,
And
we
usually
see each other usually most days of the week.
yeah, and
Yeah.
we're usually trying to use that time to be as creative as possible. Like I mentioned before, we do almost all of our merch in house, so we'll get together and we'll have a big craft day,
Yeah.
and we're printing posters, we're printing CDs, we're printing T-shirts and tote bags and sweatshirts. Or because all of us are a part of different projects, we'll get together and we'll just have a creative project making session, and we'll just all be a part of that. And also because it's all of us on the same team for all of this, when it comes time to booking, when it comes time to loading up the car, packing in, packing out, it's usually a 4-man job. It's usually all hands on deck, and we always, at least all of us, almost always try
Yeah.
to manage the weight of it all
Yeah.
as evenly as we possibly
The band
can,
does help the drummer load in. you
Yep,
know? Not-
exactly.
maybe
We
not,
help
not every
Tyler
drummer
load
can
his
say
drum
that, so
sets
that's
and-
probably why I've stuck with Odilon for so long.
because we help him load his drum set.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the singer. I
Yeah.
could just be like,
Yeah,
you guys are on your
You
own.
just take your
haha,
microphone
I'm
and
out.
just laugh, you know.
Yeah, I just carry my
And then go to
microphone
the
in and out.
bar
But
and,
no, we're part of the ship, part of the crew. That's kind of
Exactly.
I'm a big fan of One Piece, and that's kind of like the big thing with One Piece too. Is his whole crew is all good friends as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that's helped us along. Is
Part of the ship, part of the
I'm on episode like 800 and something right now of One Piece, so I'm getting there. Out of
Oh
like
my
1200,
gosh.
I'm getting there. But yeah, we all try and have our, we all definitely have our roles to play individually on this ship. But whatever one is lacking, hopefully somebody else is able to do something to help make up for it. You know what I mean? Like with
Yeah.
Tyler with his drums, or Gabe just learning bass. We all have taught Gabe at this point. You know what I mean? Sam with recording has been helping us out a major amount. I think
learned a lot about recording just by working with Sam. Honestly,
not only learned
Like
about recording, but
recording drums. Me and him both.
yeah,
We learned a lot about
The-
miking live drums.
the last
stuff
time
like that.
I professionally recorded in a studio with the first lineup of Odilon. It cost us $3,000 to get 5 songs professionally mixed, mastered, and recorded. So for this album, we did 11 songs. So if I were to go to the same guy, it probably would have cost me like $6,000, if not more, to get these 11 songs done, mixed, mastered, and recorded. But that guy also did this thing where you only had a certain amount of studio hours allotted, where it's like with Sam, I could just hit him up on a Tuesday morning and I'm like, hey, I'm coming over, let's record some studio stuff, or hey, come over to my house, bring your microphones, we're gonna record some stuff. And that's been such a huge help for us actually being able to get our music recorded, mixed, mastered, and able to be released. So we all have our different roles to play, and I think we all play them really well, and we all make up for the differences, and the
Yeah.
losses that we all
I
have.
hope we all we complement each other in our
And
musical
we're all
abilities.
good buddies at the end of the day. We
yeah,
all
and we play some Fortnite.
we all drink and smoke, minus Sam on the drinking, but play video games, play Fortnite.
Yeah.
And do you guys have any experiences from on the road? Maybe a favorite memory from a show or anything that you'd like to share?
Sam, you want to go first?
The main standout was that one time at the press club when I had I have sunglasses on.
Yeah.
I had sunglasses on inside, and it was one of my first shows with the band, so I had my book with all the scales that all the songs are in written down, and I was holding it with one hand and playing with the other.
So it looked like he was like reading a book while playing the piano.
Yeah, but
he looked so
also-
nonchalant.
Yeah,
but,
but
at the
then
same
also
time, he's
you get
trying really
super
hard.
confused, and
You
you
know,
were
so-
like trying to figure out where exactly we were, and you're like
Yeah.
flipping pages with like one
Yeah.
thumb.
Yeah.
And
He was
then
locked
someone
in.
came up to him after the show and was like, "Dude, you look like someone from the Matrix, just flipping through your book while you're playing the piano with the other hand." Like, he got some good compliments that night.
Yeah.
He looked pretty cool.
That was a good show too.
Yeah, it was a really good show. What about you, Gabe?
The-
Favorite memory, favorite experience with Odilon? so far?
You mentioned on the road. We did this festival in San
Is this the
God.
one with seawater?
We
Here
don't
we
talk
go
about it
again.
much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Seawater and a lot of other local bands.
It didn't turn out the greatest, but there was still definitely times in there where everyone was having a good time, everyone was having fun. And for me, that was the biggest show that I've pretty much played, and more of like more along the lines of festival instead of hole in the wall or in-house type of venue, big stage outside. That was what really appealed to me, and I really enjoyed doing that and having the whole festival vibe kind of around with little food vendors and merch and photography booths and stuff like that. It was really just a big outreach to the community, where there's something everyone can enjoy and everyone can have a good time outdoors, outside, listening to music. And traveling for that was pretty fun too, even though there's good parts and bad parts, but overall it's pretty fun. So I think that's my favorite memory, is doing that show, even though it wasn't the greatest and not everyone had a great time. I think overall it was still pretty unique, pretty great experience to be a part of. That's me.
It's a great learning experience.
Yeah, learning for sure.
What about you, Tyler?
So like one time I played a show in like Oakland, and I got like a Philly cheesesteak for free, and I was like, hell yeah!
Shout out Stay Gold Deli.
Yeah, dude.
Hell,
Shout out Stay Gold Deli.
yeah,
out in
stay
Oakland.
gold, stay
Can I
gold.
change
There
mine?
was like a fight that broke out later there, but like he got kicked out. Like he was nah. That's the important part is the Philly cheesesteak. That shit.
The Philly cheesesteak.
That was really
I'd like
good.
to change mine to that one time when I went to the taco truck by our rehearsal space, and they gave me a free burrito because my card wouldn't work.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you go there like every day for
Yeah.
those burritos. So. I would say my favorite one so far. It's a really tough question, but we actually just did a house show in Stockton, and for one of the first times, like I had almost the whole crowd singing lyrics that I wrote at that house show. One of another bands in the scene, Yosemite Avenue. Him and his girlfriend Rumi made it out to the show. Some of our old friends from Stockton area too made it out, and one of our good band buddies in the works, all the way from Reno, Nevada, they managed to make it out. And I think all of them have been hearing me and Odilon play these songs and sing these songs for the last
Year,
a couple of years. Some of these songs have taken a couple of years to come out on this album. And so just the fact that like to me it's still a new song because it's never been released, but we're performing it and everybody is screaming the lyrics at me, and I'm like, wow, people actually like this. Like, okay, like actually, like hell yeah, like,
you're my friends
yeah.
now.
Yeah, you're all my friends now.
Let's
Like,
get soft
we're having
tacos later.
soft tacos later.
I'm
You like
sure that
soft
was a
tacos?
really inspiring moment
Yeah, it
for
was
you.
really,
I know I think that's been a favorite part
Yeah.
for I think another two people that I've talked to.
yeah, it's really moving when you write something and it leaves the space of just your mind, and you kind of put it out there and you kind of nurture it and you hope it does good out there, and then
People
it comes
get behind
yeah
it.
people
you
get
know?
behind it.
Proof that you resonated with someone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Your words meant something other than just to you.
Yeah.
They meant something to hopefully someone else as well. So yeah, it's super inspiring. I think we're all four here pretty juiced up for what we have in store in the future.
Absolutely.
I'm definitely excited to see what's coming our way.
Yeah, if you like this, yeah, if you liked this before, just wait.
Oh yeah, just wait.
Just wait.
It
We're
gets
getting better.
it gets better.
Is there anything else that you guys can tell us
All
about
good.
this new album? I know that you guys kind of went into detail about a lot of things, but what are the inspirations that kind of spurred certain songs or maybe caused you to maybe change some of those songs?
I would say nostalgia is like a big part of it, I guess.
Yeah.
We like want to throw you into the feels of nostalgia. Like we have one like called Hollywood Blockbuster Video, which is like that's just a nostalgic thing right there.
Yeah, I think
Um,
moving forward in the scene, like starting out, writing songs and performing songs, your first time, your second time, your third time. By the time you finally get to like your 40th, your 50th time, I think it also kind of takes on like a new meaning, and kind of just starts to become its own thing, too. And I feel like over time you end up really deciding what exactly you want that song and that sound to be like. Like I know for us, we have one that's currently on Spotify called "I Hate You, Don't Leave Me on Lake Park Avenue."
mm,
And I wrote that song like at least 2-3 years ago. And it was when I wrote it just a solo acoustic song that we took to a full band sound, and we actually performed that one at the sesh, and we did a really good job performing that one at the sesh, and I did some things during that live take that I hadn't done before that I really really liked, like some of my
yeah, it was
vocals
like the
and
way
some
we
things
ended
like
it
that.
too was like
And so from
different. That kind
that
of
moment
stuck.
on, we kept that ending, you know what I mean? And we grew with the song as I feel like the song
Mhm.
needed to
Yeah, like
grow.
certain songs have like evolved over time as
Yeah.
well
Yeah.
throughout like us playing them live. Just like a little like creative inspiration here during like this part. Doing a fill
Certain
here.
fill or
Yeah.
flair there.
And
It's
we're
like
all
the
coming
cherry
in,
on top.
together and feeling each other, hearing each other over this song for so long that it just like becomes a cohesive song now, like
Yeah.
on an album. So like it needed that amount of time, I guess, like those
Yeah.
years to like become what it eventually is.
Had to marinate a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta let them cook.
Gotta
Gotta
let 'em
let them
cook.
cook a little bit.
But yeah, like one of the songs on here, I wrote with my former bassist from the very first iteration of Odilon. It's gonna be our third song on the album. It's called "Call Me from Carson City," and it's actually about the breakup that inspired me to form the band. That's how old this song is.
I think that's some band lore. That's some good band lore.
And because my former bassist isn't a part of the band anymore for a long time, he had kind of held that song because he did all the guitar work and wrote half the lyrics, and I wrote the other half of the lyrics. So he kind of held that song in limbo. He didn't want to release it under Odilon, but he also didn't want to release it under his own project. So I was kind of like, well, you're making the song suffer, man. The song's
Yeah.
got to sit in limbo.
The people
song,
need to hear
the
this
people
one.
need to hear this.
People
And he actually ended up marrying my aunt, so he's actually legally my uncle now. Shout
Deal.
out Uncle Anthony. Shout out my Tio. He's a part of another local band called American Project. We're going to be performing with them on June 21st at the Punk Rock Flea Market in Lodi. But for my birthday last year, for my 27th birthday, he showed up and he didn't have a present. He was like, "I'm sorry, I didn't get you anything, man, but I'm here with my presents as my present." And I was like, "I'll make you a deal. Give me that song. You know exactly what song I want. Give it to me. Let me release it as Odilon. Let me take it to my band and actually put full instrumentals on it and everything." And Anthony actually helped us through the recording process. He recorded the guitar work and even some of the bass work for that song as well. So my former bassist finally actually managed to make it on to a current Odilon project even now. So like, yeah, that's one of those songs where it really took just years of patience, years of just waiting for the rights of that song to just be released, back onto Odilon.
Waiting for a
and,
moment. Oh my God! Call
yeah.
back to another song.
Yeah. And now that it's here, I think it's Tyler calls it his Everlong. It's his Everlong of the album from
So since like George said that his old drummer like had like a part to this song.
I went to go tell him. I was like, "Yeah, my old drummer used to do this," and he said,
and I was like,
"Too bad."
Yeah, I was like, "Too bad." I'm gonna do my own thing, and I certainly did my own thing, and it was like, I guess like the most, I don't know, like jazz influence. I don't know. I just went crazy with it,
He's doing like 30,
I did like septuplet diddles, like
he's
crazy.
doing like 30-second notes the whole time.
Yeah, it's like my most
minutes.
endurance challenging one. So, look forward to that live. Might see me pass out or just
Oh
like
my
puke,
God.
I've seen drummers do that. It takes a lot of effort, to do what we do.
Hopefully, we don't see you falling on stage anytime soon, even with all that.
Oh, hopefully not. I'm gonna try my best.
Is there anything for our last question that you wanted to touch up on or mention that we might have missed?
Yeah, I just want to once again give a big shout out to Sam. I feel like Sam
MVP
here also helped us kind of like
MVP.
evolve our sound into, from what's in our heads to actually putting it on paper. Like some of these times with this recording process, all I had to do was kind of like hum a rhythm or hum a tone, and I was like, or bring up another song from another artist, and I'm like, I want my chimes to sound exactly like this. I want my vocals to sound exactly like this.
Like, I want this like further back in them. I want
this guy really kind of helped us get even some of these older songs just exactly where we all feel that they needed to be. So we're all extremely proud of ourselves. We're all individually proud of each other. I think
I'm proud of us for like we never really got into like any fights. Like I've heard of like that, like going into like recording an album, like bands would like have like a moment where they might even break up. Like a lot of bands get to that kind of point recording this album, but but we were all pretty like chill with each other and like at least respected the ideas that were brought up, and kind of like never like had a physical vote, I guess, session. It never like came to that, but we're always like we're at least able to like convince each other like, no, this is like the direction we're going. We all brought up each other's arguments in a civilized manner.
I think we all really genuinely like our sound too. I think that's a big
we see
thing,
the vision.
We all actually really vibe to our own music. Maybe that's a little corny or cheesy, but we all like our music. You'll definitely be catching us streaming our songs a lot. So
the process of like recording and producing the album for me was like the process of understanding what Odilon is, because I joined recently, like officially. It was kind of the process of understanding what Odilon is and what makes the sound good and kind of isolating that. And I think I hope I really got there.
I think you hit the nail on the head, bud.
So, yeah.
Bada bing.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on to the show. Thank you so much for working with me with this re-record.
Hey, no worries.
And to the audience, thank you guys for tuning in. And
if you or another band is interested in being hosted on the podcast, do not hesitate to send us a message on Instagram at nowplaying_the916 or sending us an email to nowplayingthe916@gmail.com.
Any genre is invited. All you have to do is play, have played, or plan to play the 916.
Thanks for joining us, and until next time.